we're doing going forward as an institute established by the People's Democratic Party. For those of us who can see the projector point, please, you can go with us along. And for those who cannot see it, please just follow us. It's an abridged version of that document. So at your very relaxed time, you can read the complete document of the roadmap. The first item here is PDI development / funds generation for sustenance. It is important that every institution must have the legitimacy to operate. The People's Democratic Institute, I know, was established almost 23 years ago, and it is important that we have that legitimacy to operate, which has not been there all this while. The PDI must first of all be registered by the Corporate Affairs Commission and, of course, relevant departments of the Federal Ministries of Education and, of course, that of Justice. I want to announce to us that ever since I came on board as the DG of the PDI, January 10th this year, we have been able to get the Institute 95% registration. If you look at what you see there, the red point there is only indicating that something is missing, and by the grace of God, this gathering today will solve that problem. The inauguration of the Board of Governors for the Institute. When once we get that red point there is going to disappear, and we're going to have our certificates. That is that about the registration that the Institute must do. Secondly, an institution or an organization is as good as its website or its data bank. It is important that the PDI should not be operating as just a local organization, a local institute. It should have the capacity to relate with international organizations from all over the world. And therefore, there must be, the website that can give us visibility. And if you cannot be visible, then you cannot play in the international scene. So we don't want the PDI to be a local champion anymore. We want to operate in the international space. And therefore, anyone from any part of the world can look at the PDI, can see the activities of the PDI from our website and all the databases that we have. I'm also glad to announce to you that the PDI, ever since I came in on the 10th of this January this year, has also been able to build an international standard website where all the activities of the PDI are now being uploaded for viewing from all over the world. So that is the direction we are going. We are going to do that as development component of the PDI and make it an international organization. And people will see what we are doing, and by extension, also see what the People's Democratic Party is doing in deepening and promoting democracy, not just in Nigeria, but in the world at large. We shall establish the PDI social media TV for promotion of the PDI, and by extension, whatever the PDI will be doing, everyone knows that the PDI is the baby of the People's Democratic Party, so by extension, it will be promoting the People's Democratic Party as the largest political party, if you like, in Africa. Please, if you look at the souvenirs that you have, you will see all our social media handles, 6 of them. They are all operational, they are all functioning, attracting followers from all over the world. You can also please use the opportunity to join us on the social media space. We shall set up a physical and electronic library. It is important. A research institute must have both physical and electronic library. The library is actually supposed to be a public space that the PDI will provide for both politicians and non-politicians alike to come in there and carry out their research. And of course, that is going to help the PDI also in promoting their research findings and all that. Research The institute is fundamentally a research and training arm of the People's Democratic Institute. And we are going to take that very, very serious as the fulcrum of what the PDI is supposed to be doing. Every political party must have their research arm. And if you have a research arm, like we have, pace setting in Nigeria, and others are now trying to copy us, but we must try to begin to live up to the expectation that we can carry out research. It is important. And when we carry out this research, we must put it out there for both local and international consumption. It is important that political party like the People's Democratic Party should be interested in carrying out research. We don't just, it is common, it's general to say that we don't need academic things, we don't need research, we can just go to the field and win elections and do that. No, it's more than that. A lot of things the political party needs to be able to do well in the country. And those are the things we have itemized there. Research in a political party will help in the following ways. Elicit data that can help win elections, the electoral survey. I'm proud to tell all of us here that the PDI was very much active at the just concluded Edo State election. The findings are out there, and I want to plead with those who are in charge to please look at that finding. Look at the findings that came out of Edo before that election was conducted, and I think that finding actually has a lot to tell us. So please, let's find out what we have done in that ramification. It provides insight on how to sustain power. It's not about winning power. The PDP was here for 16 years at the national level, and we are now in the opposition. It is important for us to also take seriously, when we gain power, we need to learn how to sustain power. It's very, very important. Research can really help in that direction. It is also going to help us in analyzing opposition political parties. We can't just sit like that in opposition. We must analyze, not just the ruling party, we must analyze the activities of all other political parties. They will help us see how we can brace up and how we can cover loose ends and so on. So we'll be doing that. Our findings, our research will be helping us to analyze political parties too and make them available to the necessary organs of the political of our party. It provides data and demographics for planning and projection. No government can just be doing anyhow. Governance has to do with, what do you call it, planning and projections. And this will come with statistics, demographics, and so on to help good governance in the country. And it will also help us to craft messages that will resonate with the Nigerian electorate. Research findings will help us to do that. And when you are able to put out messages there that will resonate with the Nigerian electorate, honestly, you will be naturally getting membership for your political party. It will provide data for inclusivity and marginalized group in the country. There are so many groups in the country. They are marginalized, and we need to talk about inclusivity. We need to talk about mainstreaming gender and all that. And our research work will help the party to be doing well in terms of taking care of the marginalized and bring about inclusivity. Party crisis management. It is important that there should be this body that can come from the academic angle, not just on the field of politics. Maybe if we come from the other angle, we can begin to give us, what do you call it, data about party crisis and management. It is very important from that place. The PDI is poised to do that. It's also going to help us to look at funding for political party. The PDP is in opposition today, and funding has become a challenge. It's no news. Funding of political party, they are standards all over the world. We are going to take them, the PAC, the super PAC, the short funding, the public funding, the dark funding. There are so many of them. We're going to take them from where they are instituted, and we will domesticate them. We will bring them to Nigeria and domesticate them and make them available for the People's Democratic Party to adopt. We cannot continue to depend on public funding. There are so many other ways of funding a political party. The PDI will do just that, and ours is to present the document for implementation. Our research will also articulate how payment of membership dues can work. It's a difficult thing today. We don't even know, we have a database for Nigeria, members of the electorate that belong to supporters of the People's Democratic Party. We can do that. We can get a database and we can work out things that can make people naturally, even farmers on their farms, to be willing to pay, even if it is 100 naira or 200 naira as dues to the People's Democratic Party. It will help us in the area of funding. The PDI will float a journal. Out of all this thing we'll be doing, we'll be publishing them, putting them up there on the website, and we shall also be publishing them. We'll float a journal, and we propose that the journal will be called PDI Journal of Democracy Studies. PDI Journal of Democracy Studies. We shall also look at sourcing funds for the PDI, organizing training workshop, which will lead to certification. I want to use this opportunity to present to us that we cannot continue to produce leadership without training. We cannot continue to produce leadership without some kind of knowledge about what leadership is all about. The PDI will be poised to doing that. And what we shall do, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks training, it will culminate into the issuance of certificate for people to participate. And of course, that's going to be a source of funding for the People's Democratic Institute. I use this opportunity to crave the indulgence of the leadership of the party, from councillorship, all appointed political appointees and elected political people should also please take this training seriously and help us in that direction. Grant writing. As an individual, I have won grants severally from my small office room in the university. The PDI is a larger pedestal for us to win several grants in support of the institute as well as the party. We also want people to donate to us. Go to our website. You will see our account number there. Well-meaning members of this party, please donate to the PDI, and it will be duly acknowledged. We shall have training workshop for all elected and appointed political office holders at some kind of cost. I take this as the last point here. Please, it's just an abridged version of the entire thing. You can please read up that document at the end. We want to take something very seriously, and we will make this proposal to the leadership of the party, and we call it Building PDP Intergenerational Leadership and Membership Connect. We want to see how the party can have their leaders from generations to generations have this connect that will bring about the transmission of ideology and philosophy from one generation to the other generation. We intend to take this, outing from one zone of the country to another zone, and by so doing we'll be attracting membership and we'll be giving the Nigerian young people that hope that the People's Democratic Party is the only party that they can rely on. So I want all of us to support that. The objectives of this that I just mentioned now, they are there. Please, you can read them in the the roadmap. Finally, it is very important that I talk about the weaknesses. And I'll be begging the about to be inaugurated members of the board of People's Democratic Institute to please look at that very carefully. PDI has challenges, a lot of challenges. As a body, the PDI has only 3 members of staff, only 3. So the way it is now, you cannot expect an institute to just have 3 members. So, and we are going to please help that institute to have a minimum of 30 persons, professionals. It's not a place to employ anybody. It's a place to employ people who can bring in quality to the institute. The PDI operations are apparently analogous. It simply means we need technology and all that. We need, yes, the media room. We need so many other things. You can look at it also on the projector. You can see all the things we need. I want to seize this opportunity to announce to us and to thank someone who is due for recognition and thanks. Ever since I became DG, I want to specially, it's my own special thanks, and of course from the PDI too, to thank His Excellency Governor Oluseyi Makinde, whose activities, whose support, moral support and financial support has kept the office of the PDI open for activities up until this moment. Your Excellency, thank you very much, sir, for all that you have done to keep the PDI running. Thank you very much.